Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Radiant Soul Podcast. And today I want to talk about crises and what to do when something bad turns up in our life or something that we perceive as not good turns up in our life. And the reason why I want to talk about this is I was on a call actually this week with my mentor, and he said something like, never let a good crisis go to waste. And it just hit the chord in me of I laughed, right? And it was so true. And I was in the middle of my own little personal crises, and it was a moment of just complete remembrance of who I am, why I'm here at a soul level, and that the human experience is just that. It's just an experience. It's not actually real. It's literally everything that we experience in reality is based on what was and our past stories, beliefs, thoughts, vibrational frequencies. We're living in the past, basically. And most of us bring that into our present because we live with the past of all of our stories, and we sort of trudge through life thinking, taking on this kind of burden of the story of our past. But I've slightly digressed, but this idea of never letting a good crisis go to waste. And for me, it shows up as well in my personal life. The other week, it showed up in a massive bill coming through that I wasn't expecting, hadn't got the money for at the time, and it would have completely thrown me off. Normally, it would have completely sent me into a tailspin. But because of the work I've been doing and because of the depths of how I'm bringing and integrating these teachings myself into my life to enable me to teach them, to enable me to be a voice for them, a very different thing happened. This bill came in, and instead of me completely freaking out as I would normally and running to my boyfriend and crying and stressing and causing a huge drama, what actually happened was I got really excited. And I'll tell you why. Because in that moment when I saw that bill come in, what I saw was that I was ready for more, that I was ready to be a channel for more, that there was more wanting to come through me, there was more wanting to come to me so that it could come through me, and that all I had to do was open up to that. And in that moment, I could have seen that as a terrible crisis, but instead I saw it as an opportunity to emerge, to evolve, to grow, to become more of. And that's true abundance, right? That's true wealth. And I was lying in bed last night and I was thinking, wow, there's not a single part of me that is poor. I am so rich in creativity and ideas, in knowledge, and have access to all this stuff and live in this amazing place and have all these amazing people around me and experiences. And I've had all these experiences and I've had all of these things in my life. And I couldn't resonate at all with poorness. It was just no part of me that felt poor. And that's because I have literally not let a good crisis go to waste. I have mined them, and I have taken each one and said, well, what is it here? What is the lessons? What is it asking more of for me? And normally these things really do want us to be more of ourselves. And I remember, 3.5 years ago, I came out of my yoga class and I was super worried about things with my son and his dad. His dad's health was really bad at the time, and my son wasn't really doing so well. And I remember just mentioning it to my yoga teacher, and his response was, where I was wanting sympathy, his response was, great, this is your chance to step up as a mum. And it kind of knocked me at the time. I was like, that's not what I wanted to hear. I wanted sympathy. I wanted to eke this story of sorrow and worry and badness out. But actually, what I heard was exactly what I needed to, which was this was an opportunity for me to step up, as a mother to my son, for me to step up as a co-parent of our son and help out his father, my ex-partner, and to be there and to be able to support both of them in whatever way they needed, and for me to be able to allow myself to be more than I was being. And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what the journey for the last, 2.5 years. So it ended up with me raising my son on my own while his dad went back to England to recover and get better. And the amount of stepping up I had to do and more had to emerge from me. And it's a continual journey. As a mum, I'm continually pushed, and there was always like another teenage crisis. And it's like, well, how can I bring more to this? What's the evolution here? And we allow these crises or these things that are difficult to really bring forth and allow what wants to come through. And the thing is, the way to do this is you actually have to just allow yourself to drop into it. Allow yourself to be still enough to feel the pain of it, to feel the emotions. Like, don't judge yourself. Have compassion always. Like I always say, don't be a bitch to yourself, because that's not nice. And don't be a bitch to others, because you're just hurting yourself when you do that. Little sidebar. But when a crisis shows up, when something really difficult comes into our life, it is an opportunity for us to evolve. It is an opportunity for us on a soul level to become more than what we have been. And it's a beautiful gift that we're given. And when we take it and we don't let it go to waste, no matter how painful, some things can be so painful. Like grief, it can come back and back and back and still hurt us and hurt us and hurt us. But every time it's like, well, this is an expression of more love. There's more love trying to get through. There's the pain I feel is not a loss of love. It's the love I felt. It's like I literally cannot hold that much love in my heart right now. It needs to expand. So that my heart needs to expand so it can hold the love, so I can be with the pain. And so all of these crises are opportunities to become more of ourselves. And when we do that, our soul is rejoicing. Our soul is alive. It is radiant. It is evolving, because life wants to expand and grow and become more of all the time. The living force of life is to move forward, is to grow, is to expand. There's no death in nature that doesn't create more life, that doesn't feed and nourish the life that is around it, that doesn't become nutrients in the soil for more life to come through. And we were watching, I don't watch much TV, but I have recently, so I've got a lot of quotes of things off Netflix recently. And we were watching a documentary on Vancouver Island and its wildlife, but how the animals like the bears, the wolves will bring seafood into the forest, and as it decomposes and rots, it feeds the forest with the nitrogen and with the high levels of minerals from the sea that then create the lush growth, right? There is no death in nature that is not bringing more forward. And so every crisis is like a chance to literally, what needs to die and what needs to grow here, and where can that death bring forth more growth, more of who I am, more nutrients to who I want to be. And when you learn to live like this, you're actually learning to live in reciprocity with life, right? You're learning to live in a connected state with life and an abundant state. And that's how we grow, and that's how our souls thrive and become radiant. Because we get to have these moments and we get to grow from them. And I'm not saying spiritually bypass them. Absolutely not. Feel the pain, like be in it, feel it, mine it for what it is. Because it's a gift. Thank you for listening. It's kind of a short episode for a long episode, but I feel I've said it all, and you have permission to mine everything in your life, right? For the riches and the gems and the treasures that are there. That's how you live an abundant life. I love you. Thank you for listening. I will see you next week. Take care. Bye. To find out more about how to work with me, then visit soulartbyshirley.com for art, commissions and courses. And if you love this podcast, please hit subscribe and leave a review. And if you take a screenshot of your review and email it to soulartbyshirley@gmail.com, I'll send you a Radiant Soul Hypnosis as a thank you gift. Thank you for listening. I love you. Bye.